is that we all get it. Don't give in to the pain, just keep living, cause
got dreams I'm striving for. So I'm gonna live higher. I'm gonna live higher. I got dreams I'm striving.
What's up, guys? It's Toby Rosario, and in today's video I wanted to bring you guys up to speed. I know I haven't been posting as much as I used to post. Just been doing a couple things, a lot been going on, and I wanted just to give you guys an update of what's been going on. But before I get started, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell notification, that way you get notified whenever I post a new video. Also, if you haven't noticed, in the description there is a link where you can get access to a free mind map. It's essentially a real estate course. I give you all the scripts, marketing channels, how to pull a list, all those things. It's free. All you got to do is click on the link, sign up, put your email in there, and then you get access to that free mind map. But let's get back to the topic on what exactly what I've been doing. So for the last couple of months, I have been working on obtaining business credit, unsecured business lines of credit. What exactly is that? Unsecured business. So unsecured means you don't have to put collateral up, right? There's a difference between secured and unsecured. And unsecured is where you don't have to put any collateral up. And I've been working on obtaining unsecured lines of business credit. And the reason I've been working on that, and I'm going to talk about the amount I've received so far, and why it's just a game changer, right? The reason I wanted to obtain unsecured business lines of credit is because I didn't want to sacrifice. I didn't want to use my own money, right? I mean, that's just the bottom line. I wanted to use other people's money, and that way, I don't sacrifice my liquidity. I don't sacrifice the money I have in the bank, right? I can use someone else's money at 0% interest on the average for about 12 months. And the benefit of personal credit the business credit as opposed to personal credit is it doesn't affect your score, right? I can run up these lines of credit on the business side, and that doesn't report on the personal side. If you have a credit card on your personal side, if you run up these credit cards, for example, and that utilization is over 30%, your score drops dramatically, right? But on the business side, these lines of credit, they don't report on your personal credit. And that's huge because you can use these unsecured lines of business credit to fund your real estate deals, to invest in passive source of any source of income, to put a down payment on multifamilies, to invest in whatever it is you want, right? You can use this for all these purposes, right? And the reason I like that is because these unsecured business lines of credit are at 0% interest, right? And that's huge because what does that mean? So 0% interest, it's like you're borrowing money, and you have a certain amount of time to pay that back, but you're paying 0 interest. So that's essentially the same as cash, right? If someone lets me borrow $30,000, no interest, and I have 12 months to pay that, I can purchase a property, put a down payment on that property, and I'm paying 0 interest. So that's the same as me buying it cash because there is 0 interest. There's no accrued interest where you're paying the principal and the interest. Does that make sense? So that's the benefit. It doesn't report on your personal side. The other benefit is that you can use that and you don't have to worry about it affecting your credit score or it affecting your liquidity, right? If you have $100,000 in the bank, but you can borrow someone else's $100,000 at 0% interest, you don't have to use your own money, and you can just borrow someone else's money and use that to scale. So far I've got over $40,000, and that $40,000 is just my first batch, what they like to call in the industry first round. I'm going to do 2 other rounds where I'm going to obtain more business credit that does not report to my personal credit report. It's consumer credit and then it's business credit. And what I plan to do with those funds is, number 1, invest into my business, my wholesaling business, right? Number 2, we're looking at acquiring some Airbnb rentals and then also some multifamily. So what I'm going to do is use that business credit to fund all those things, right? I'm going to use that for down payment on my multifamily. I'm going to use that to acquire Airbnb units. I'm going to use that to scale up my marketing, direct mail, whatever channel I plan to utilize. I'm going to use all those funds from the business side to fund those things, right? I'm going to use that to fund the Airbnb, multifamily. I'm looking to purchase some duplexes, triplexes, things like that. Use that as a down payment where I don't have to come out of pocket. I can use someone else's money at 0% interest. Use that money as a down payment, and that down payment will get paid by the mortgage, by the rental income to pay that balance down, right? So it's 100% finance. So you didn't have to, all while keeping your personal credit score where it needs to be and keeping it high, and that utilization is not affected by what you do on the business side. So I can run up these lines of credit on the business side, and I don't need to worry about it dropping my score, because those are two separate things. There's personal credit, consumer, and then there's business credit. And if you run these up on the business side, it doesn't report to the personal side. Now, it would report if you default, right? So I want to be clear on that. If you default on these unsecured lines of business credit, that will report on your personal credit report. And the reason it's going to report on your personal credit report is because you're personally guaranteeing these lines of credit. Although they're unsecured, you are the personal guarantee or guarantor on these unsecured lines of business credit, and then gives you the money to come in as an actual cash buyer. Because when you're wholesaling, you're not necessarily the cash buyer. You could buy it if you wanted to. You can use private money, hard money, whatever the case is. But you can come. You have a lot more confidence coming to the seller when you know you really have the funds to close on it, and you can really cherry pick those deals yourself and close on it without having to use a hard money or private lender, because the hard money is going to cost you a lot of money to borrow that money. Usually 12%, but compared to these unsecured business lines of credit, they're at 0%, right? Huge difference. So you can actually use that line of credit to fund those deals that you want to keep yourself. Either you can hotel them, you can fix and flip, you can buy them, fix them, rent them, do a cash out refinance. You can do whatever it is you like. So that's the benefit, right? You're gonna save a ton of money on interest. You're gonna be able to actually close on the really good deals if you lack funds, so you don't have to borrow money from a hard money lender. So it's just a lot of things that you can do with these unsecured business lines of credit to that'll benefit you on the real estate side. And if you don't want to do the real estate side, you can use that money for whatever it is you like. It doesn't have to be necessarily real estate, but for me personally, what I plan to do with those funds is invest those funds into my business, also acquiring some Airbnb rentals and some multifamily properties, right? Duplexes, triplexes, and use those lines of credit for the down payment on those deals. So I don't have to come out of pocket, out of my own money to fund these deals, and then just use those assets to pay back the loan, right? So you don't have to, you're not stuck with a monthly payment, from your own bank account, right? Does that make sense? Just acquire an asset that can pay for itself. You can rent it out, and then have that payment pay down the balance on those unsecured lines of credit. And another thing is that if you guys are interested in learning more about business credit, comment below. I'm interested. I can make more videos talking about it, but that's kind of what I've been up to. I have been really working on acquiring business lines of credit, unsecured business lines of credit at 0% interest, so I can really ramp up in 2020 and beyond. All while keeping my personal credit aside from not being affected from the business side. So that's it, guys. That's my time. My name's Toby Rosario. Peace.